Hi guys, Annette and Andrew asked me to share a little bit as a top producer. Just kind of a discussion. I'm going to talk for a few minutes on maybe some hints or some things that have worked well for me that has helped my business. And then after that, Mackenzie's going to throw a rock at me, and we'll do any question and answers session that you guys like. Um, First of all, just kind of my background. I've been in real estate for about 2.5 years. My sales have progressed from, I think the first year was 2.5 million. Last year was 3.8. Right now, I've closed six so far this year for 2.7 million. I have three additional escrows in for another 1.2 million. My goal this year is to get about 20 closings and a little bit over, shoot for 8 million. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think one of the things that have helped me personally, it's just something you can't change, is I was not a realtor before. I don't have any bad habits to overcome, which I think a lot of us have. The things that I've learned is things that have, Andrea has taught me. So I think it's definitely helped me being a clean piece of paper. Uh, I'm gonna talk in random, a little bit random about different things that help me and things that we've heard every day. One of the things that's very helpful for me is when I'm receiving the new lead. We've talked about the seatbelt video, and obviously my link is up there for doing a seatbelt video. This is actually huge. It really helps you. It does help you not getting ghosted for the first time, and that first connection is so important because really we haven't talked to that client yet. We've been connected. We're doing the hyperlinks and text. This is the first time that they see us. So I send a seatbelt video, and I basically just tell the client, say, hey, look, I'm in between showing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon at 1 o'clock at 123 Main Street. Just wanted to shoot you a quick little video text. And while I'm doing that, I'm actually in my car. I have my phone in my cup holder and have it on me, and they're watching me putting on my seatbelt that I'm actually going somewhere. And I really think this makes a connection with you and the client. Um, it puts a name to the face and everything. And since I started doing that, I've gotten ghosted a lot less, almost nothing right now. They're showing up, and quite often when I show up, they're smiling. They know who I am. I was in the condominium complex, and the lady came over, my connection for the first time. She come walking right up to my car, and I didn't know if I did something wrong, or but she was actually my client, but she knew who I was. I know it's a little weird to film yourself. It doesn't feel comfortable unless you're a narcissist, and I'm kind of not. But it really helps the connection. So great thing that works for me. I do everything. I do most everything that Andrew has taught us. Showing the three property, the Manila folder, the buyer's folder. I always use this, and when I'm showing my clients initially, I'm taking notes and I'm reconfirming what they're looking for, the area, size of house, etc., special features, and also trying to find out their why, which is critical. So um, doing the grading and everything else. So it gives you your base. At the end, it's like, what are we writing offers on? So another thing we have to do is really instill urgency with our buyer clients, from committing to showing appointments, um, and to writing and signing offers. We obviously we tried to get the offer signed and written when we're there. If that doesn't happen, we want to get them to sign and as soon as we can. There's this urgency because I try to instill with my clients. It's like the home is not waiting for us. There's other people that want this home. I've had homes that I've written offers on that they were on the market for over 200 days and there was no current offers on it. The day we submitted, there was also another offer on it. So you really want to work on instilling the urgency, with your clients. Um, Going through the process of showing three initially, you want to be prepared. Obviously, you have your three homes, your buyer packet, etc. also the lender. We want to really control the loan, and we want to start that probably no later than the second house that we're showing. Find out if they're pre-qualified, and if they're not, then that's your opportunity to do a three-way connection with either JJ Mortgage or Zillow Home Loans. If they've already been pre-qualified, great. It's up to you to provide them an option on the biggest purchase that they're ever going to make. And prior to going to your second showing, um, or prior to going to go to your showings at all, preempt your preferred loan agent, whether from JJ or Zillow. Say, hey, Kathy, I'm showing homes at 10 o'clock. Are you available to take the call? No, I'm. If she's not, then yeah, maybe I'm talking with David or Eric. But have that kind of preset for yourself. Um, Gonna skip down, the BAM fam. Yes, I always try to do the BAM fam, and I'm pretty successful on getting that done. And these are things I didn't do initially, so I've kind of learned. So we've graded the showings, and we found the homes that they want to write an offer on. One of the keys that I do is I always try to develop a relationship with the listing agent. And this happens from maybe after you've shown the house, and they'd like to, hey, any comments on the house? They shoot you a text, reply back, hey, great house, love it. Hope to have something for you. And then before you can go ahead and write the offer, but I'm always calling the listing agent prior to submitting the offer. And my conversation typically goes like this. Hey, Mr. Jones, loved your listing, and my clients really liked it, and I think we may want to offer on it. Obviously, besides our best and highest price for this home, what else is important for your seller? How can we make this a mutually beneficial offer? That is such a key conversation. Every time I've asked that question, I've learned something about the transaction that has helped me. For example, in one of the times that I've asked that, client says, the listing agent said, hey, my seller really needs to be in their house for an additional 2 weeks. Then they're moving out of state, across country. They have some doctor appointments to finish up. That would just really help them out. So it wasn't even a price issue. It was a seller in possession for 2 weeks. There was a competitive offer on the house along with ours. We wrote it in. I talked to my buyer about it. We wrote it in. We had seller in possession, 15 days. We did no charge to the buyer. We got our offer accepted. So those are some of the things that you can learn with your conversations with the listing agent. Listing agent wants to make sure that they can trust you. And the reality is that you're not a knucklehead to deal with, or an idiot. And once they have that comfort in dealing with you, they're really going to probably push on your side for the offer. So the relationship with the listing agent, I feel, is key, and I do everything I can to have a good relationship with the listing agent all the way through, the escrow, because things are going to come up. We're going to have to work out some stuff, and we're going to have some changes along. So try to do everything you can for that. That's mine as far as my offers. Some of the other things that I've kind of learned, and I just, one little sentence is, don't be a show pony. And when I initially started, I was a show pony. I could get appointments, get out there, I'd show the homes. I couldn't push them to getting into writing offers. And so I just continually showed homes. I've had it where I've showed clients multiple times at my expense, and then all of a sudden they can't pre-qualify, or they won't pre-qualify, which is kind of bad. Our promise is, with Zillow and everything else, we'll show everybody at least one time. We show up, and we're going to show our 3 homes. After that, we need to get into the pre-qualifying. And I've had folks that just continue. They do not want to pre-qualify. They continue to want to see homes, and I've pushed back at it. It's like, I will have you out immediately as soon as we get you pre-qualified. So don't be the show pony. You have to push back on it, and it can be a little difficult at times. You feel like you're offending them. But my escrow I opened this past week, was a client I've showed for a while. The house was off the market, and she said, my house, something changed. We're going to sell the house. And I said, great. Um, what are we doing with the loan? I said, have you talked with David Leva? She says, no, not yet. I just want to see these 3 homes. I said, as soon as you have that conversation with David, I'll be right out with you. And you know what? She did. She had the conversation with David. She got pre-approved. We got her out to see the homes that she wanted. And I kept my promises immediately after she had the conversation with David. David says, we're golden, go for it. We were out. We viewed homes. We wrote offers. We got her in escrow. So you kind of be adamant about that. Um, Different topic. Some things that I do to kind of keep myself organized. I use notes or color notes on iPhone or iPad. Maybe I can just show you a quick view of what I have. It's going to work here. Probably not going to work. But being newer into real estate, I've asked a lot of questions of everybody. I try not to ask the same question twice. And so my whole thing is to, I'm sorry, I can't share it with you right now, but is to keep all my notes organized. So I'm using a notebook or color notes, and then every topic, I highlight each topic and page, everything from the different things I had in initially. It's like how to write an offer. After I learned the first time, I took all my notes, wrote my notes down there so I could always refer to that. So I keep myself pretty well organized. And I can, if you're ever in here, I'll show you the notes that I have and how I organize. And to me, if I can have it somewhere where I can refer to it, it keeps it out of my head and less stress. And then lastly, kind of a topic that we don't train on is really expense management. Um, I've had my own business before as I've owned my own company, and the expenses are critical. I I service a lot of the desert areas, so I do travel a lot. My expenses typically will run $1,800 to $2,000 a month. You guys got to know what your expenses is. We see what our commission checks are, and that's all well and good, but that's not what we're earning. We're earning what we're keeping. And I would encourage you, once again, I can show anybody how I do it. I have some spreadsheets that I can share with you guys, but we need to track our mileage. We need to track our expenses. Um, Everything from the cost of the Supra, our due cost, our printing costs, any marketing that we pay. So we got to really think of ourselves. We're all mini businesses because that's what we are. So track it, and then I watch my expenses quarterly, and I try to do my expenses monthly. I have a form. I have a format that I use. It takes me 15 minutes at the end of the month, and at the end of the month, I can tell you if I've made money or lost money, and which is pretty critical. But that's, I guess, some of the things that I use that has helped me. It's kind of random topics, but those are maybe some of my highlights. You guys have any questions for me?
Sorry, I accidentally exited your meeting.
Okay.
But my question is, when you're calling leads, how do you like decide whether somebody is not going to be purchasing just yet, or if they're hot, or if they're not going to purchase?
Mackenzie asked, how do I qualify the lead on the, when I'm calling them? And the reality is I don't. My goal is, if I'm calling leads, I'm not qualifying to see when they're ready. I'm trying to get them out, at least get them out one time to meet with me to develop the connection. Maybe at that point, then I figure, they're not to be ready 6 months, this and that, but we always want to drive for the appointment. And once we can get them out and start showing them homes, the reality is, some people we're going to get out, and then we're going to show them homes. We're going to pre-qualify them. It's just not going to work for them right now. They have a credit issue, or they need a cosigner or something else. They have some things that are going to prevent them from buying right now. Then we nurture them, but we've got them out. We've made connection with them. We can continue to nurture them. So try not to maybe judge them so much. Just try to get them out at least one time, develop the connection, and then when they're ready, that's going to be a client for you. Andrew mentioned about a lot of our closings are, I think he mentioned plus 60 days from new. A lot of my connections I've had for a while, or a lot of my current escrows, and we always think about. I even kind of kid with the ICAs. It's like I need some fresh leads. That's really, I'm joking, but that's kind of not correct, because a lot of my escrows are things that I've been nurturing for several months, or I've had some over a year, and so that's my comment on that. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
It seems that there are a lot of agents who have to show a lot of houses before someone's even willing to write an offer. But it seems that you're able to start writing offers at it seems like at a sooner time than maybe most agents. Is there something that you're doing in there that's allowing you to get to that area quicker than
Yeah.
others?
One of the things, yeah, and obviously all people are a little bit different. One of the things that we train on is the grading of the homes. And so we're out looking at homes, we're grading 1 to 10, and we're telling the client, say, hey, at the end of the day, anything that's we grade 7 or higher, maybe it's something that you want to write an offer on. And I also tell them, I said, the grade for the home, I said, it's based on your parameters, how well you see yourself in the house. So if at the end of the day we're reviewing the homes that we saw, and maybe everything came in as a 6 or a 5, well, maybe we're looking at the wrong homes, so we're going to have to revise our search parameters. But you have to also keep in mind that as somebody had said this a couple of weeks ago, we're not driving to a showing, we're driving to write offers. Got to keep that mindset. It's like that's what we're doing. And I've been guilty of, like, okay, I got to go show homes. Like, no, I got to go write offers for somebody who wants to buy a home. That's really got to flip your mindset about that. So have them grade, and if you're not showing them the correct homes, then you revise your search. Is it price? Is it features? Is it neighborhood? Then shift, bam, fam, and get them back out before your appointment's done that day. One of my bam fam techniques that I use, I said, hey, I said, we're getting real busy right now. I said, my our ICA, our inside sales department, is really good, and I appreciate them, but they do book me out pretty well. Today's Saturday. Are you available to see homes? Next, is this Saturday a good day for you? It's like, well, yeah, okay, yeah, Saturday's fine. Okay, morning or afternoon, and book it. And then so let's pencil you in. I said, if something comes up, that's fine, but I want to make sure I have a spot for you in my calendar. I don't want to forget about you. So that's kind of my key, how I always bam bam, with people.
Okay, and then
Good
in
question.
between that, then you're sending them properties to look at so that you could see what house you're usually going to go see next then.
Yeah, I'm sending them. I'm asking them to send me too. And I said, when we've done the whole Zillow, and you've added me as the agent, and I tell them one of the important things of doing that is when you favor the homes, I'm going to be able to see them. So it's going to be something that I'm going to remind you, is like, hey, you favored this house on 123 Main Street. Would you like to take a look at this Saturday when we go out? So yeah, I'm sending them homes. I'm asking them to send me homes as well. So,
Great, great. And then I just have one more question here. And then would you say that there is before are you just really trying to get in connection with JJ like right before you're writing that offer or an offer?
great point. Not necessarily. And I've done this as far as when you have an opportunity to write the offer, write it regardless of what else you have. If you don't have a pre-approval and you don't have proof of funds, go ahead and write it. What that does, you've written the offer, the client is committed to it. Well, what are they going to need now? Most likely they're going to need a loan. So your three-way is gonna be pretty easy at that point. So you lit a fire on them, you want this house, we have to get the loan. And by the way, I need your proof of funds for down payment, earnest money deposit. So never wait to get everything, um, to submit your offer. I've submitted offers where I didn't have everything, and in my email to the listing agent, I said, hey, here's an offer, got a great offer for your house on 123 Main Street. I expect to have, the pre-qualification for my client tomorrow, and should have the proof of funds as well then, or whenever. So, but don't wait. That's kind of a big mistake. And Andrew had taught me a couple years ago, write the deal and get out of the way. Because at times I would question, I wanted to make sure I had all my ducks in a row. It's like, it's not about that. It's like, get your offer in front of the listing agent as soon as you can. The rest will follow. And keep in mind, there's other people in this deal that want this deal to happen. Your client's gonna want it to happen. The reality is your listing agent's gonna probably want it to happen. So there's other people that are gonna help you get it done. But most importantly, get the offer submitted, get the rest of the stuff in, when you can, but communicate with the listing agent. This is the expectations and when you can expect the balance of it.
Oh, hey Doug, this is Anthony.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to add on to something what you just said is
Okay.
that a lot of people, when they get to the purchase agreement, and you told them to write the offer, they wonder, okay, with the financing part. I was
Right.
told that the default to fill that in, just default to conventional. And if it's something different, then go back and adjust it,
Right.
later after you find out when you submit the offer, if it's something comes up later, you can always go back and adjust the numbers.
Exactly. You could make changes on it. You can also say, hey, we have time, where our earnest money is going to be due in 2 to 3 days after this
Yeah.
is accepted. So we have time to get everything in. But the other thing, as far as getting the offer submitted, is also getting them used to writing an offer. I've heard other agents mention that they'll send a client a practice offer, which is not a bad idea. I'm gonna send you an offer through DocuSign, and this is just gonna be practice so you know how the flow goes. But once you write that first offer with your client, you broke the ice. Now it's easy. Now when we're gonna go out again, it's like, okay, we're gonna offer on this property and that property. No worries, here it comes. So it's gonna be a lot easier to sign subsequent offers. So, good point, Anthony.
Are you using some type of like mathematical calculation in terms of, how much money they should be using for their EMD, or then how much money they should be like allocating for closing costs in terms of how much money that they have?
A couple things for EMD. First of all, EMD, I think, varies by market. A lot of the areas I work the IE and desert areas, usually EMD is 1%. I know as we go to LA and Orange County, it's 3%. So I always tell my client, I says, for the most part, I said, we're gonna write it at 1%, but expect that, if we're writing in Orange County, this is gonna get countered back. They're gonna want 3%. So I said, it makes the listing agent feel like they're doing something. So as far as the other costs associated with that, what I do is while we're writing the offer or when we get an escrow, I'm sending them a buyer net sheet. I get on Tommy Dutcher's California Title website, which he gives us all access to, and you could actually fill out a quick buyer net sheet and say you're going to get one from escrow, but this is just kind of an approximate cost as far as your escrow cost. One of the biggest thing in the closing is going to be a prepayment of taxes, but this is just an estimate for you. So I'm sending that out to them, and then I'll tell them additionally, when you get your loan, you're going to have certain costs that are associated with the loan, and that's going to come from our loan officer. That answer your question on that?
Yeah, that gives me some insight. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Great, thank you. Any other questions, guys? Mackenzie?
My question is, what wording do you use when you introduce the loan officer?
This is where you got to be creative. I've done it well and I've done it not so well at times. one of the ways I've done it, I will tell the loan officer, I said, okay, I'm gonna call you in about 30 minutes. And I have my new client, Johanna. I'm gonna introduce you to him. And so they're gonna be looking at the house, and I'm gonna tell the loan officer, I said, I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna start talking some BS about something, about maybe another loan or escrow. And then I'm gonna break into the conversation. Hey, by the way, Eric, I'm here with my new client, Johanna. And we're looking at some homes, and she's gonna need a loan. So I just like to have you say hi to her real quickly. So by doing that, we can actually go through with the whole pre-qual at that moment, if possible. If not, I would ask Eric, I said, we have a follow-up call with my client, as soon as we're done with the showings or this evening, or whatever's gonna work best for the client. But so you gotta kind of be creative in doing that. Blake, as far as the Zillow home loans, a little bit different. We have to kind of get the calls a little bit different. When you watch Blake's video that's on Slack, that's excellent as far as getting how to get the Zillow home loans officer introduced to our client. A little different because we need to capture the call, per Zillow's way, which they have to call out from their computer. So. Question? Yeah. Go ahead, Mackenzie.
My other question is, so when you make a connection with the client, what is your pattern to communicate with them throughout the week?
A new client, I try to keep it just to text. A new Zillow connection. We try not to call them. I got a case this past week where after the 4-way text, the client reached out and called me, so I'm calling them back. You don't want to do it. But if they call you, you're going to have to respond. So try to just text for now until your appointment. Get that person to the appointment. The reason being, a couple things is, if we start before we take out the client for the first time, we start on a conversation with the client. Quite often we're gonna blow it before we go out there. Maybe we're gonna give out too much information. And I used to be great at that. I would make cold calls, or I'd get leads, and I'd pick up the phone. I'd have my computer in front of me. I'd open up the MLS. I'd rattle off everything I knew about the client or about the property. The client's like, okay, thank you very much. That's all I need. Goodbye. It's like, I totally blew it, because my goal on that first call is to get the appointment. That's it. Tell very limited information if asked about the property. Say, I'll be more than happy. Those are great questions, and I'll definitely have answers for you when we meet Saturday at 10 o'clock. And so try not to do the call. They don't want us to have a call, but try to communicate with the client just via text on the Zillow introduction. If you take a live lead through Ojo or OpCity, a little bit different. Then after that, the communication is going to be driven by whatever's comfortable by your client. Do they like to call? Do they like to text? Some just want to email. So try to communicate with your client with their preference of however they want to communicate. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Well, great. Appreciate everybody being here today. This is a first in the series, and I think it's pretty cool because it's top producer, but to me, it's sharing best practices. I'm more than happy to do it. The team's been very generous with me in help, and I've always asked a lot of questions, and I've gotten a lot of help. So if I've helped you in the least bit, then mission accomplished today. So guys, thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Doug. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.